Namaste, greetings, radiant beings of planet Earth. Today I am here at Blue Osa, which is an amazing yoga retreat center on the Osa Peninsula of Costa Rica, and um, it's owned by a yogi named Aaron Starr. And today I'm going to be teaching a sequence inspired by one of his signature sequences, which his style of yoga is called Ayama, Ayama, and it focuses on muscular activation. The whole idea is that through underuse and trauma and just life, our very advanced, super intelligent brains have just kind of become their own thing, and that's most of our whole experience as humans. And our brains have lost communication with a lot of our muscles. So a lot of our muscles that we really need to be helping us in movement are just not awake. They're just not there. They're just not working. So we use very non-ideal muscles to move in really non-ideal ways. And you can read and learn all about this in his book and or his podcast called Stop Stretching. And for now, that's all I'm going to say about that. But I really highly recommend it. It has already transformed my life and the way that I practice yoga, and it will continue to impact how I teach. So stop stretching. But we're going to begin this class with one round of Prana Shakti, which that's what I want to do. It's a great way to just really get your energy body enlivened and invigorated and get you ready to practice. So you can come to a comfortable seated position on your mat. I don't know if you can hear that, but that was a Congo, a howler monkey. It sounded like a dragon, but it was just a little harmless black monkey. Let's tune in with Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. You can rub your hands together at your heart, and you can chant with me or just listen. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. You can take your hands and your arms and extend all the way out to the tips of your fingers. And this is the movement. We're doing a breath of fire, and as you exhale, you are making little fists and pulling and slamming your elbows into your side ribs. So here we go. We're going to do that 54 times, 54 powerful exhales. Ready, set, go. Good. Breathe in, extend all the way out to your fingertips, and hold the breath in. Squeezing Mula Bandha, the pelvic floor, squeezing energy up, focusing at the third eye at the midpoint of your brow. And then exhale, and just trace your aura, and take your hands all the way back down to your knees, palms up or down, whatever you're feeling. Generally, I think about it, if you feel like you need to receive some energy, palms up. If you want to ground, then turn your palms down. Feel your energy body. Okay. Next, we'll flip to your hands and knees. And let's just do a few rounds of cat and cow. You can go slow or fast, but go with your breath. Inhaling to cow, and exhaling to cat. Excellent. When you're ready, you can just go ahead and lift your hips up and back into your first downward facing dog. And we'll stay here for several rounds of deep breath and just allow yourself to settle into the pose. Good. Taking a few more long, luxurious breaths. Breathing in fully and exhaling fully. If you're focusing on some part of your body, let's bring your gaze to your navel point if you can. It's always good to cultivate more positive thoughts about your body as you look at it. So try to be less self-critical and more just appreciative of the body that you have in every way that you possibly can. When you're ready, let's go straight into this sequence. So you can look at your hands, and we're going to come forwards with your right knee. So bring it into your chest. You can bring it into your nose, and then put your foot down between your hands. Drop down to the inner edge of your left foot, and then inhale and reach up with your arms. And we're in Warrior One. If you want, you could interlace your fingers to Kali Mudra. For me, Kali Mudra just always helps me to feel more integrated, more centered. And you can look up at your hands. We're going to take 10 breaths in Warrior One. Awesome. And then when you're ready, let's just take your hands down to the ground on an exhale. Reach down to the ground. And then step back into your plank. And then from your plank, we're going to lower all the way down onto your front body. So shift your shoulders slightly forwards of your wrists. And if you need to drop down to your knees for this, drop to your knees. And we're going to come into our first Shalambhasana. So you can take your arms, bring them back by your sides, palms facing up, and lift your front body. Bring the inner edges of your feet together. Lift your chest, lift your chin, and take a few deep breaths. Good. Come on back down. Take a rest. And then we're going to do that again for a total of 6 times. Shalambhasana is a really underrated yoga pose, but your older self will thank you for taking care of your body in this way and not only strengthening your abs on the front side of your body, but also the back side. The modern human has a really weak and non-engaged upper back, rounded posture. So let's do that again. Take your arms back by your sides, holding for about 6 seconds. 6 times, 6 seconds each. That is muscle activation technique. Good. When you're ready, release. And we're going to go back into downward facing dog. Tuck your toes, lift your body up and back.
By the way, I'm not an expert in muscle activation technique yet. So if you really want to go to the source of this information, check out Yogi Aaron. I'll put a link to his YouTube page in the description. Next, we're going to go into Warrior One on your left side. So start to bring your left knee into your nose, stepping through. Come down to the inner edge of your right foot.
And reach up with your arms, reaching from earth to sky, looking up at your hands. And the whole time you're in a posture, you're making little micro adjustments or big adjustments as you feel your body and bring it more into alignment. And if you're a beginner and you're just learning, you may not really know a lot of specifics about the form, so just do your best and make sure that what you're doing feels, at least doesn't feel painful, and at least feels right to you. Take a couple more breaths. We refine our form continuously throughout your life as a yogi. When you're ready, take your hands down to the floor and step back all the way back. And then we're going to lower all the way down onto your front body. For 2 more Shalambasanas, this time elbows are bent and your hands are by your shoulders. So take a few breaths here, about 6 seconds. Very generous 6 seconds. Let yourself come back down, take a rest. And then we come back for another one. Good, and release. Go back into downward facing dog.
Excellent. And when you're ready, let's come into your plank again.
And lower all the way down onto your front body.
We're going to go into our last 2 Shalambasanas, this time with your arms extended forwards like Superman. So lift, hold, but don't hold your breath. Good. Come on down. And then we're going to do our last one, 6th and final. When you're ready, go ahead into the pose. Take your time.
Good, and then release yourself and come back into downward facing dog when you're ready.
Take a few more breaths into your down dog. And then you can exhale, look at your hands.
Inhale, coming forwards. Long spine. Exhale, big forward fold.
Contract the muscles of your front body to come into that forward fold. And then inhale and keep a long spine as you hinge and reach your arms up above your head. Exhaling as you bring your hands together and step your feet out to the distance of your mat, the width of your mat. And we'll come into Ardha Utkatasana, chair. And we'll take your arms, bring it back by your sides with your palms facing up to skier's position. And we're going to continue to activate the muscles of your back here. When you're ready, you can breathe in and reach up. And then breathe out and hinge, and arms come back by your sides. Inhaling up. Exhaling, hinging. Let's go really slow. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Last time, when you're ready, inhaling. And exhaling. Awesome. Now take your hands all the way down to the floor. And then you can either come down into a deep squat if that feels good for you, or you can go ahead and just exhale into a fold. Good. Now bring the feet together with your big toes touching. And let's very slowly roll up your spine. You can take your hands together at your heart. We're going to do a round of Surya Namaskar B from Ashtanga Sun Salutation. When you're ready, come into chair, breathing in. And then breathing out, folding forwards. Inhaling, long spine. Exhaling, chaturanga. So you can go back and bend your elbows at your sides. Just come down about halfway and then push through with your toes and swoop up into upward facing dog. And then exhale, move back. So maybe those Shalambasanas helped you to get your back activated to make up dog better and more powerful, better for your body. When you're ready, breathe in, lift the right leg up. And then exhale, pull the knee into your chest as you step through. Just breathe into warrior one, lifting up. And then exhale all the way into chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. And here's a little trick. You can always do an extra chaturanga if you want to on your way to down dog. Inhaling, left leg up. Exhaling, knee into the chest, stepping through. Inhaling up, warrior one. Exhaling, chaturanga. Inhaling, up dog. Exhaling, maybe add that extra chaturanga on your way to down dog. If you're really focused on building strength, it's a good idea, I think. Take a few more breaths. Good. If you like that sequence, learn it. It's a great way to start any physical yoga practice. Exhale, looking at your hands. We're just going to do it once today, though. Inhale, stepping forwards to long spine. Exhale, big forward fold over your legs. And then chair pose again. Utkatasana, sitting back and down. Inhaling, arms up. And then exhaling out of chair pose. Awesome. Now let's do some forward folds. That was all very stimulating. So forward folds are more calming. Breathing in, reaching up. Peace sign fingers with your hands. And then hinging at your hips, reach down for your big toes. Now inhale, extend your spine. And then exhale into the fold. This is really important. We are not pulling with the arms, so don't. Release your shoulders. Your arms are like noodles. You're bending your knees as much as you need to because it's fine if you have tight hamstrings. And just fold within your body's appropriate range of motion, which is what you're able to do without pulling or forcing. Yoga is not flexibility. When you're ready, breathe in, extend your spine. And then exhale, stick your hands under your feet, standing on top of your hands with your toes at the bends of your wrists. And take 5 more breaths. Padahastasana. Awesome. Now let's do some more core work. So release your hands from under the feet. This whole class is full of core work and muscle activation for your core. So step back into your plank. And let's go up and down on your elbows. So going from elbow plank to a full plank like this. And the first time, let's lead with your left arm. So going down, down, up, up. Really keep your core tight. Good, and then stay down in your forearm plank.
And we're gonna come into a side plank. So you can press your left elbow down, roll over onto the left, and you can take your hand and feel your rib cage and try to use the strength of your obliques to lift the rib cage, and then maybe you can lift your arm also holding. Good, and then releasing down. And then we're gonna do 5 more of those. So when you're ready, let's do it again. Lifting. Good, coming back down. Hopefully I can keep count. Here we go, number 3, lifting. And lowering. And number 4. So we're getting your lower obliques turned on. The obliques of your lower side. Good, come on down. And 5. Good. And last one. Ready, set, go. Good, and come down. I was holding my breath there. I don't recommend holding your breath. There's a lot of things to think about though. So sometimes it happens. If you need to take a little break, take a little break. And then we'll come back into your forearm plank. This time let's do a few of these reps leading with your right arm pressing first. Good. Next, coming into Vashisthasana side plank on the right. We're going to do the same thing. So find your form. Good. And then we do it again. 6 times. 6 seconds each. Good. This is my last one. Excellent. So come on back into your front body. Come back into your forearm plank. And then we'll go from here back into your downward facing dog.
Awesome. So when you're ready, we'll exhale looking at your hands, and then we'll inhale forwards.
Stepping, hopping, floating, whatever works for you.
And we'll slowly roll up again. So let's step out wide.
And we're going to work with side angle pose and triangle pose. So first we'll go to the right. You can turn your right toes out to the right and put a bend in your right knee and drop your shoulders. Hold your opposite elbows. And we're going to do some muscle activation first, of course. So what we're going to be trying to do here is strongly contract the muscles that make you flex or bend at your side to do your best to bring your shoulder to your hip bone. You won't literally be able to do that, but let's do it as if that were possible. Good. 6 times, 6 seconds each. Awesome. This time we're going to go fully into it. So you can take your elbow here to your thigh and reach over with this arm. And if you're used to doing this pose, maybe that little bit of muscle activation technique is helping you actually to go deeper, but it's not because you increased your flexibility, it's because you activated the muscles that needed to be awake. And if you want to fuck up your shoulders, then you can take your arm and come into a bind. I don't necessarily recommend it though. Awesome. Let's breathe in and come out of the pose. Awesome. Now let's go to the other side. So you can turn your left toes out to the side, bend into your left knee. We're like in Warrior 2. And then hold your opposite elbows. Drop your shoulders. And 6 times for 6 seconds, contract at your side body. And hold this contraction, this flexion. Good. 6 times. Try not to go into the front space or the back space here. Try your best to just do a side flexion. Good. Last one. And let's go ahead into the pose. Elbow to your thigh, reaching over in side angle pose. You want to try to feel the connectedness through this part of your body. So this is the side angle that the pose is named for. Let's rotate inwardly with your torso. Maybe you can look out at your hand. Good. Inhale, come out. Awesome. Now, come back to the original side. Hold your opposite elbows. And we're going to start to work towards triangle pose. Again, it's the same motion. Pulling the elbow towards your hip. In preparation for triangle pose. Good, this time we're going to stay. Let's focus on rotating inwardly with your torso, just like I was just talking about in side angle pose. And then don't try to reach the floor. Just take your hand, bring it down to your shin, and think instead of making a goal out of reaching the floor, let's think about expansion. Take deep breaths. Look up at your hand. Let's hold this for about 10 breaths. Good. Inhale, come up. And out of the posture. Good. So I wonder if the muscle activation helped you to feel any different in that pose from usual, or if it helped you to actually increase your range of motion. A lot of times people think that to increase range of motion, I obviously need to increase flexibility, when really it's just about waking up the muscles that need to be firing to make the movement happen. So let's go to the other side. Again, holding opposite elbows. Really try to keep your focus, your concentration on what we're doing. I know it's a lot to ask. 6 times. And on your 6th one, hold. And also start to rotate your torso. And when you're ready, come into triangle pose. Expand into triangle pose, I should say. Excellent. When you're, well, let's take a few more breaths. I think I was about to rush a little bit. It's so unlike me to rush. Good. When you're ready, let's come out of the pose. So think about it. It's, we have muscles that make us bend at the sides, side flexion muscles, but how often do you do this in daily life? So those muscles obviously are some of the most non-activated for a lot of people. So let's move on. Let's come down to the floor. You can get there however you want. And let's do some forward folding here. So sit with your legs extended out in front of you. Let's take a big breath in and reaching up with your arms. And then exhaling, lean forwards. Hold your big toes. And this is just like when we were standing. We're not pulling with the arms. Don't let it happen. Breathe in, extend your spine. And then breathe out and just lean into the fold in your natural range of motion where you're at today for 5 breaths. Good. And then in between, let's go here. So cross your ankles, tuck your knees, and just do your very best at trying to pick yourself up off the floor. Even if your feet stay on the floor, that's okay. You're still building core strength. And then we'll come back to seated, and we'll do it again. Breathe in, reach up. Breathe out, big fold. Breathe in, extend the spine. And relax into it for 5 breaths. Excellent. Come back, tuck your knees, and lift. And then we'll do one more. Breathing in, reach up. Breathing out, folding. Breathing in, extending. Relaxing. Exhale. 5 deep, full breaths. Excellent. Last time. Crossing the ankles, tucking the knees, lifting. Sometimes it's good to do things that are too hard or to attempt to do things that are too hard for you. Good. And then come down. That's how we expand our capacity. And where are we now? Let's go here. Inhale, lifting your arms up. And then pretend that your spine is a chain, and we're dropping the chain slowly, slowly to the ground, one link at a time. One vertebra at a time. Excellent. Let me reposition myself on my mat just a little bit. And from this point, you can bend your knees and cactus your arms by your sides. And 6 times. We're going to go up into bridge.
from the contraction of your glutes mainly. So contract your glutes to lift your hips, holding for 6 seconds. Exhaling down. Good, and do it again. And release. And again. And release. A few more. Lifting. Release. Lifting. And releasing. Lifting. And this time you can stay. And if you feel up for it, you can do an even bigger back bend, or you can attempt it. And if you're not sure, this is not something that you normally do, or you don't feel like you've mastered it yet, just take it slow. Bring your hands above your shoulders and lift onto the top of your head. And then push your hands and feet into the ground. And use the strength of your back body to come into this big heart opener. And try to take up the length of your whole yoga mat instead of trying to be tall and impressive. Do something that's actually good for your body. Trying to be impressive, trying to show off is a fantastic way to damage your body, which is the last thing that we actually want to do in yoga. So I'm going to stop talking, take a few more deep breaths. When you're ready, safely lower yourself back down. Tuck the chin. And you can just bring your knees into your chest. Don't squeeze them into your chest. Just bend your knees. And we just have one more thing to do, one very simple movement to reset your spine and to activate your hip flexors. So you can release your legs down and keep your spine neutral. And let's just slowly raise your right leg all the way up to 90 degrees. It can take about 15 seconds to bring it up. And about 15 seconds to bring it all the way back down. Good, other side. Right side. Left side. Good, so 4 times total on each leg.
Excellent. And when you're done, just come into the most relaxed position for you, whether it's probably on your back. Shavasana is corpse pose, lying completely open with your palms open to the sky, with your feet falling out to the sides. This is a fantastic way to end your practice. You could be on your side. You could even be on your front side, belly down. And it's really important at the end of your practice to just let go. Let go of control. So this is where I'm going to leave you. I really hope that you have enjoyed this muscle activating, strengthening sequence. Again, I'm not an expert, but I hope to become an expert. And in the meantime, if you want to learn more about this philosophy, check out Stop Stretching. And be well, continue to take care of yourself, and have an amazing rest, and then have an amazing rest of your day or night. Thank you so much for practicing with me.